sorry, y'all. I'm recording it now. Okay, but I didn't even record that. I'm so sorry. You know what? It's cool. It's cool. Y'all just posted in the chat what happened so that everybody know that we at least made the money back, made the money. Thank you, Raj. I appreciate it. I mean, because I know what I could do. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I was mad. That trade man, it was the trade manager settings. That's what it was. And you know what? It's cool. It's just that I'm gonna just tell y'all, it's a 50 pip thing every time. Minimum. I should be able to catch 50 pips every single time, every night. Asian session. I'm telling y'all. And y'all are witness, right? Okay. So let's walk through. Ooh, it's giving me more too. It would gave me my 150 pips. I'm not gonna be greedy. I walked away with what I needed to walk away with. I actually broke even and even had a little itty bit more. I'm cool. Those of y'all that rolled the trade up, that's a 250 pip move you up right now. Yeah, slowest. Yeah, I got it right there. Yes, Patrine. Look at you, Patrine. What up, sis? Thank you for joining. Rona. Rona said that she was in there. Rona, you still in it? 336. Look at you, Rona. Did you get in when I called the trade? You can unmute your mic too, y'all. This is, oh, okay. If y'all want to unmute your mics, you can. I gave y'all permission to because we on Zoom. We can change our entire call to just be, it be lit. It would be just us just having fun. Got in on that one too. Hey, there you go. You know what I'm saying? Like they can have their little fun in New York session. We know how to rock New York session, but Asian session gonna be lit too. Okay. 336. That's what's up. Please share that in the bag chat with everybody. Let them know, you know, we catching pips up in here too. So I walked away with 110 pips. So I lost 100, made 110. So I walked away with 10 pips profit on this one. Rona got 300 and something. Other people got 100. Some people got 50. Don't matter. Long as y'all made money, another 50. There you go. Long as y'all made money, we cool, right? So I'm happy. I'm done. That's trade for the day. That's it. We ain't trading no more. Training time. So this is the expectation. All right, y'all. So that's what's up. Even if you in demo, 150 pips. Now I want y'all to practice it. When we not on this call, I want y'all to practice this. Okay. This is the strat that we using on this Asian session. Okay. What we doing is 9 o'clock when the calls start, that on the M1 time frame, we on the M1, we looking for our trade. We only need to take one. I ain't taking no more for the rest of the call, by the way. Okay, we done. Look, 20 minutes into the call. We really should have been done 5 minutes into the call. And I'm only on this call for an hour. All right, because of this very reason, because I know I'm gonna get my trade within the first 5 minutes and we be done. Okay, so this is the strat. This is what we're doing every night. Asian session, 9 o'clock. I know some people mentioned the 8 o'clock hour or the 8:30 candle. I narrowed it down to 9 o'clock. This is me. Other people can trade Asian session whatever way they want. All right, and this is regular NAS too. I was not on NAS mini on this one. This was regular NAS. So when that thing was hitting me for the 50 pips a piece, that was, you know, $5 a pop on my little on my growth account. You know, my account's up 350, you know, from that 100 that I started it. And it's only been a month. So my account's up over 200%, you know, from for the last 4 weeks I've been trading it. You know, and now that I'm hopping in on Asian session, it's going to be up another 100% by the end of this week, you know? So, what I want to show y'all is that's regular NAS. Yeah, I'm going to give you another example. I'm so sorry, Martin. I'm sorry, but I'm going to walk y'all through it. All right. So this is, and I'm telling y'all, this is how the call going to go. So this is the very first call of the new schedule. I'm going to be on Tuesday nights and Thursday nights from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. 8:55, y'all should have y'all chart up. Now, I only focus on NASDAQ, so you can't ask me to replicate this on US 30 or on S&P because I have not taken the time to learn to trade those as much as I've been doing NASDAQ now, okay? So you can try and apply the principle to those if you want, but I focused on NAS. Okay. 8:55, you should be on your chart and you should be looking for an order block on the M1. I don't care what the daily time frame say, what the H4 say, what trend we in. I don't care. I don't care what trend we in. Okay. Even though this downward move right here is fire right now. That's because of this order block right here. And it's on a downtrend on the M1. But I'm talking about right here. Ooh, look at that. Look at this W that thing did. That's why I went that way. On the M1 time frame, okay, and we're in AIRO. So what you want to look for is zones. You don't need to look for the trend. You need to look for the zones that AIRO has already drawn. So when 9 o'clock comes, you want to come off of an OB order block off of a zone. Okay, so for the buy, okay, you want to come off of a bullish order block off of a zone. This is a bullish order block. This is the bullish order block that I was looking at when the 9 o'clock candle started. That was me being impatient because technically once this order block formed, I should have been in on this candle, and there was like 100 pips between them two. This candle was a fake out and I fell for it, right? And then here's the bearish order block with the drop, okay? And then here's a new bullish order block, okay? The bearish order block would have gave you maybe like 30 pips in this, maybe, but then you had this right here, that rejection. So if you had a 50 pip stop loss, you would have got stopped out and then it went down, all right? But you would have still caught some pips, but you just would have had to suffer out of the wick here. But there's no zone here for you to take a bearish order block trade. So if you got the support zone here, we should be looking for buys, all right, after the 9 o'clock. So the next bullish OB that formed off of the support zone is what we should have been in, which is what this candle was. As you can see, I was in there, but my stop was too tight. That's why I got caught in this wick, and then it went up. All right, but that, as you guys can see, that was, I don't know what, 200, 300, 400 pip move right here from here to here, 300, 350. Okay, so that's what we're doing there. You look for a zone. So you're on AIRO. You look for a zone. You need to be coming off of a support zone with a bullish order block after 9 p.m. Take your trade. Right here, here's your order block. This is your entry candle. You go for 50 pips. You don't need to go for the whole gamut of thousands of pips and whatnot. The ones with both colors or order blocks, no, that's just trend color candles. That's what they look like when you zoomed out. This is just what it looks like when you're zoomed in. Okay, so but you would know a bullish order block is a downtrend that ends with a bear candle and then starts the uptrend with a bull candle like this. Okay, here is a bearish order block. Uptrend ends bull, starts bear going down, and then here's another bullish order block. Okay, for the buy, again, you need to come off of a support zone the AIRO has drawn, get your bullish order block after 9 o'clock, entry candle, go. You only need to catch 50 pips. It's 50 pips every single time, minimum. Drawdown is whatever you can tolerate. All right, as you can see, if I try to do 50-50, I would have got knocked out. So I've been doing 250 and 250, and I was using the profit locks on the trade manager. So, but I never got as high as like 200 pips in drawdown, not even 100 pips in drawdown. So that's why I was going for the 50-50. Okay, but you can at least go shoot for 50 pips. That's what I was doing. But 100 pips to make you feel a little bit better about risk to reward. But as you can see, that was a 300 pip move. We good. That's it. You don't need no more. All right. Vice versa for the sell. It needs to come off of a resistance zone. I'm talking about best quality trades. I could trade this all day with just order blocks, as you can very well see. Here go the next bull order block right here. Boom, take entry candle, gone, which is kind of like what we did. right? And then here, look at this, bearish order block. Take the next candle, drop. Next bullish order block right here. Take the next candle, up. You see what I'm saying? But those aren't as best quality trades because this looks like it's actually forming an M right now. All right. So those aren't the best quality trades. The best ones is when they pop up off of a zone because it's using the zone as a step, like a what's the name? Like a catapult. Yeah, it's a bounce. It's using the zone for the bounce. All right. So that might have been 50 pips right there, actually. You could catch it, but they're a little riskier when they're not off of a zone. But like I said, bullish order block off of a support zone. Next candle, take the trade for the buy, 50 pips, or whatever you want to do. Bearish order block, gotta look like this, kind of. All right. Long as it's a bull candle in, bear candle start off of a resistance zone, take the sell, 50 pips. That's a strat. That's what you do. That's all we doing in every Asian session. Okay. Any questions? How easy is that, y'all? I try to come out with the easiest strat possible to help us out with this session. And then the rest of it, we're going to do training because we're going to talk about the other sessions and whatever setups I saw. Matter of fact, with this push-up that NASDAQ is doing right now, I believe my AU trade probably just hit stop loss and profit. I really hope not. It hasn't, but it's real close. I'm at 7195 and price is at 7193. That's cool because AU must mean that AU's getting ready to go up. So I got to get on that. Can I please look at GCAD and ACAD when I get a chance? Sure, Raj. Sure. I could do that. Ooh, do you see that every day at the 9 o'clock candle? Yeah, I do, Rona. And it's only because of momentum. It's utilizing Tokyo's momentum of getting into the market. That's what I'm doing. It's not 9 a.m. there, but for some reason, 9 a.m. the 9 p.m. candle for us. Oh, whoever Billy is, your iPad is writing on my screen. Whoever the 9 p.m. candle for us, I don't know what time it is over there in Tokyo, but they just start popping right then. Yeah, exactly. Similar situation as the other sessions. I just don't know what time it is in Tokyo over there right now. That's making it. How's our AJ favorite pair? You know, I didn't even look at it. AJ, yeah, Daniela, but I'm about to. You've been taking my attention, and I'll explain why. I got 30 minutes left in this call. I'm gonna try and see if I can throw some setups out there for y'all. Always catch good pips in Asian session. That's what's up. I love it. But this is a good example of why I said it's very risky. So here's your bullish order block right here, right? And then you would get in on this candle where you gotta accommodate for spread, because spread might put you in up here maybe. And then you go. You barely get 50 pips. Barely. And then it drops back against you. You see what I'm saying? So that's why it's a little riskier because it doesn't have a zone to push up to give you that oomph to keep going. So that's why I don't necessarily trade them without being off of a zone during Asian session. Way different during New York. Okay. But then again, look at it. It might be forming a W here. So you might not have got stopped out. It might be okay. But they're risky for it. That's a good example of why it's a little riskier. All AU pairs on the move. Any Forex pairs in Asian sessions? Yeah, all AU pairs. And NZD. Can't forget the Kiwi. Can't forget the Kiwi. But let me tell y'all, all right, so we cool with NAS, we caught pips, we good, bet. We're going to do it again on Thursday night. Now, let's talk about Forex pairs real quick. I'm in AU right now, and it's about to hit my stop, and I will show you where it's at. It's right here. So this is MC5. Since we don't have AIRO for MC5, because this is a funded account that I'm on. So on this account, I have to just read what I see in AIRO if I choose to, and then come here and place my trade. All right, so you'll see, here's my entry. I was in this since yesterday. Look at where my entry at, y'all. Ain't that pretty? Ain't that pretty? It's a nice entry. You know, stop loss is in profit. I don't even care what it does. I'm kind of mad because I really should have got out down here. This was where TP was, but it wicked out and then I wasn't paying full attention and then it pulled all the way back. So I'm mad about that. Like literally this candle was 1 pip away from my TP and then look at it, ran. And now it's on its way back up. So honestly, AU should probably be pushing up now, and I'm going to look for a buy to get into AU. But yeah, that was my entry. Okay, and it was a beauty. Here's the thing: GU, EU, and NZD USD, all of them did the same thing. Okay, so I was in GU as well. GU stopped me out. Like this mess right here, GU went further. It went all the way, dang near all the way back to my entry up here. It was the same exact entry I took. It was just on GU, went all the way back here instead of like right here like AU did. So I was stop loss and profit, but I only walked away with like 6 pips. I was heated because if you look at GU, it dropped too. And that's the second time that thing did that to me. So GU has now been banished from my charts, okay, for that very reason. But if I look at AU, AU has been paying me quite well because when it does pull back, all right, and this is a teaching moment for y'all. When I don't put stop loss and profit until after the second wave has taken place. All right. And I'm not talking Elliott waves. I'm talking about the second push or the second move from my entry. Here's the example. Here's my entry right here. And by the way, my entry is always off of a M1 order block. Y'all see it with NAS, what I just did. I took my entry off of an M1 order block. That is exactly how I take my trades, off of any instrument. M1 order block. So this AU trade is off of a M1 order block every single time. Where is my M1 order block? Because I need to show y'all where it's at. Oh, gotta make sure it doesn't move. There it is. All right, get back there. Get back there. There it is. Boop, boop. Right here. I got in at 434, which is 934 last night. Where is 934? So y'all can see it. 934 here. All right. And I did a YouTube video on this too, by the way. So if y'all want to check my YouTube out, you see it as well. But there it is. Order block right there. I took it for the sell. So I took it in the sense of this order block here, bearish, and then this candle came up and it rejected this order block. I'm in for the sell here, which you can clearly see was at the opening of this candle, and then it dropped. I got to deal with some drawdown. But I got to tell you, let me show y'all what the drawdown was on this, okay? My entries here. This is the max drawdown I had. 3.8 pips. That's it. My stop loss is no higher than 5 to 10 pips. On average, it is 6 pips. I am trying to get it down to 3. This was 3.8. But my stop loss will never, ever be higher than 10 pips on a currency pair. Yes, dojis can also be OBs. Absolutely. They just aren't pretty OBs. And they're a little bit more riskier to come play off of. But yeah, they can be. Because a doji still has, it's not flat. As long as the doji is not flat, meaning the opening and the closing are the same. As long as it has some type of movement, whether bearish or bullish, it qualifies. Okay. So that was that entry, and that's how I went down. And then the move. So the move is I trailed this based off of the M15. So, 3-4 pip stop. And then with the drop, that drop is beautiful. All right. Trailing it by, this is move 1. Okay, here's the low. Here's the pullback. All right. Once this pullback is complete, you won't know it until it does what? Form a new low past here. So it took all that time for AU to do this. When it made it this new low, okay, which was at 8:15 a.m. for me, when that new low was formed, that's when I moved stop loss and a profit. And now it's here. And then when it forms a new low past this, which it did here, which is also TP, and I'm mad about that, is when I move stop loss and a profit more, which is why I did it here. Okay. So if AU wants to be nice to me and comes down and actually hits TP, I'll be out the trade. If I want to hold it longer, which is I'm doing this off of an H4, because what it could do, and here's the setup, okay? Here's the setup. Pay attention, everybody. AU, for the sell, okay, for the sell, I'm in this trade up here, but if it wants to continue to sell, because you see I drew my Fibonacci for the downtrend. If it wants to continue to sell, it'll come up to the 23.6 and not go any further. Once it decides to not go any further, you can get into the sell off of here. And what am I gonna, and I'm gonna look for the same situation. Once it comes back here, because it's gonna stop me out, right? But if it wants to continue going back down for the downtrend, I can just hop right back in over here around the 23.6 and then go to 0. The difference between 23.6 and 0 is 33 pips. I'm not knocking 33 pips. If I throw a 0.75 on there, them 33 pips is looking pretty nice, you know? So I'm not sweating being knocked out of this trade, even though my position is fire. Gosh, that's a beautiful position. But, but once it does, it comes back. And when I say rejection, I mean something like this, a little wick, something like that. As soon as a wick forms, you need to be looking for your entry. And I'm looking for my entry off of the M1 time frame, because I'm looking for what? An order block. And if I'm looking for an order block, it's got to be a bearish order block, so it's a continuation, or it's a bullish order block and it's breaking past it below. Those are my entries off the M1 for the sell. Now, that's for the sell. For the buy, okay, for the buy, I'm a little, if I try and get in right now, you can possibly get in for the buy and ride it up to the 23.6. That's too close for me. It's already like halfway there. So it's not worth my time to try and catch a buy right now yet. But what I would do is, if it doesn't reject 23.6 to go down, then I'm going to look for it to use 23.6 to push up. And what you would do is look for a signal off of the M1. You look for an order block off the M1 after it shows some bullish formation here. So what do I mean by that? Let me show y'all in AIRO what I would be looking for on that. Okay. So look at that drop. Didn't I say that thing looked like an M? Came all the way back down. That's nice. All right. So here's AU. AUD-USD. All right. And you see it's pushing up. It's different. Here I drew it for the uptrend. See, over on MT5, I drew it for the downtrend. Here I drew it for the uptrend. It doesn't matter which way you draw on your fib. It's how you want to trade it based on the information that you're seeing. Okay. So in this instance, what I told y'all on the MT5 is how I will be looking for it for the buy, for the sell. Here, when I draw it for the uptrend, this is how I'm looking for it for the buy. Okay. If I'm looking for the buy now, you'll see I'm zoomed in. Look at where price is done. It's hanging on this 71.0. Those of y'all who have been on my calls before, you know 71.0 fib level is a discount fib level. That's a fib level where it's telling me this thing wants to buy. And they getting ready to push up, you know. And look what we got. We got a rejection here. Okay, we got a nice rejection here. See how it's playing on this line now? came all the way to my TP, didn't even touch it, and ran. And now it's playing on this line here, and it looks like it wants to push up. Okay, but we got this wick here. See, it needs to be a strong push up. But you ain't got the run to try and get into it right now because you don't know if it's really going to turn bullish right now. This is weak bullish activity. This is weak buy activity right now. Okay, I'm not convinced of the buy yet. That's why I was still looking for the sell. But one way that you will know that you got momentum in your favor is look at how close we are to this AIRO MA. Because we're that close to it, we could be getting an H1 AIRO alert for the buy. I would be inclined to take that H1 AIRO alert for the buy. Okay? And when it happens, okay, what's going to happen is when I get that alert, I go down to the M1 time frame, and I'm going to look for a bullish setup, either a bullish order block bounce or a bearish order block, and it's breaking it going up. That would be my entry off the as soon as that H1 alert appears. That's how I take the AIRO alerts now. I don't take them right when they occur, right? Because look at this one. You got this H1 AIRO alert, then what happened? Boom, it dropped. You also need to be aware. See, this is why. See, look at that. Didn't I tell y'all? I'm not convinced on bullish momentum right now. It's dropping, which is more in my favor anyway. But hey, it's doing what I wanted it to do. It's doing what I think it should be doing. So, but if you're looking for the buy, that's what I would look for. But again, I'm more bearish right now, and I already explained why. So that's AU. Now, the key points of what I'm going through with all of that is the same thing applies to GU, EU, and NZD-USD. You don't believe me? Let's take a look. Okay, here's GU. All right. Same situation. Okay. That don't look the same to y'all? It's same H1. This don't look like the same movement. It doesn't have to be the same type of pippage, but as long as the same movement or candle formation that's occurring is giving you pair correlation trading right now. GU is probably going to give you more pips, but GU can also knock you out too. So you have to maybe account for that possible drawdown or possible pullback that'll knock you out that AU won't do. Okay, so that's similar, right? Look at that setup. Similar setup as to what you see here. All right, so that's GU. Same thing. Now let's go there. Let's take a look at EU. And I don't even like EU. For a good reason. Look at this thing. It's just hanging there. Now the same is not pushing up off of this zone, but it still is giving you that last, look at that last bullish OB. All three of them got the same one at the same time. And then look at how it's playing right here. This is actually pretty nice that it might push up, but EU is slow as molasses. That's why I don't trade it. But now let's go take a look at NU, and then I'm gonna go and then I'll look at the CADs for y'all. Where's my NU? NU is here. All right. Buy on Euro JPY. I'm not paying attention to Euro JPY right now. Look at NU. See how NU is very similar to AU? And look at this. Now we got this bullish momentum. You probably about to get an H1 alert, right? You get an H1 alert. You come down. You need to make sure. Are you following trend? Nope. Because look, we got more pink than red. Strike one. That means that upward movement may not go the way you want it to go. So higher time frames rule. Go look at the higher time frame. We still bearish. Look at the daily. We're bullish. We're bullish on the daily overall, but look at where it's looking at right now. Today, it's pushing up. Don't this look like a W forming right now on NU? Okay. So if I get an H1 on NU, I might be more inclined to take that trade. And then AU should get strong and follow. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to catch both of them, but NU probably going to be the one that go first since it's showing all of the bullish momentum. And if I take that NU going up and I see it's coming off of this daily chart right here, and you mean to tell me this entire day turns bullish? Look at what it looked like now. If this day, today, so tomorrow by 5 p.m. Eastern, if this day ends up bullish, that is a complete bullish order block coming off of a support zone that is also the beginning of a potential fourth leg of a W, with the fourth leg being higher than the first. Come on now. I'm in there all day as a buy, and I'm going to hold that thing up into this zone. I don't care if it take a month. How much potential is it from the AIRO MA up here? 351 pips. Y'all do the math on 0.75 on that. Right? Right? And all it can start is right here. So in 15 minutes, if you get an H1 AIRO alert, I'm going to come down to the M1, make sure I get it off of an OB, and then we go. Even though I don't see a particular, like a zone, but this zone is close enough, it might strengthen. Sometimes it might not actually touch it. It might strengthen after a while, and you'll see the zone get thicker, kind of like what y'all saw on the M1 earlier. But see, look at that. Got that wick there. Might not do it. AU might be one to, so it's something to be careful of. You still got a lot of bearish pressure here on the lower time frames. It's something to be aware of and be careful of. Okay, but I will look for it. Even if I'm only going to catch 20 pips, I'm not knocking 20 pips. All right, so those are my potential swings on USD pairs, and all of that is also off the strength of the dollar index. See how the dollar is getting stronger? It got stronger. That's why I was able to catch all them pips on AU, because this happened. So when the dollar index got stronger, pairs that are in a that are not correlated, that are trading against the US dollar, for instance, GBP USD. GBP is first, USD is last in that pair. So when the dollar index went up, GBP USD should go down, because GBP is becoming weaker against the dollar. All right, the dollar is becoming stronger. So all those pairs, when they look like that, that's what you look for. If y'all listen to Don say, he tells you. So GBP USD should have went down. Okay, AUD USD went down. Euro USD went down. NZD USD went down. When they're first, they go down. Now opposite, USD JPY. In that instance, I would be more inclined to think that it should have started pushing up, because the dollar was becoming stronger. But that doesn't necessarily mean it was becoming stronger than the yen. Okay, so just because the dollar index gets strong, you do look at it in correlation to pairs. But just because GU went down, that just meant that the dollar was stronger than the pound. This could have still went up, and GU could have still went up too. But I was already looking for it to go down because of market structure and everything. That's just something to look at. Dollar index is very, very helpful in that. Oh, look at NAS. Why y'all telling me to look at NAS? You know I'm not trading NAS no more today. Ooh, look at that drop there, boy. Where's NAS going, y'all? NAS hit my TP earlier today. This is my NAS. So I had it all marked up. Look at my NAS on the daily. TP was right here. So it passed that. Ooh. And where's it going? I tell you, NAS is on a downtrend, and I called it last week, 100 pip sell. That's what's up. Keep eating, Raj. NAS is on a downtrend right now. And I love it, because I had called it to everybody and let them know that it was on a downtrend. And the way I found it was, S&P too. I've been slacking on S&P so much because NAS has just been dominating my time. But I'll tell you, the reason why I called NAS for the melt is because I switched my fib, and this is how I drew it. This is off the daily chart. But I saw that, and I saw NAS came down, touched it, went up, but didn't go all the way back to zero. Normally on an uptrend, when it wants to restart the uptrend after a rejection like this, it should go all the way up to 0, but it didn't. And when that thing stopped, I said, okay, it's time to switch. I'm drawing my fib for this downward movement. When I drew my fib for the downward movement and I saw we got rejections here off of the 50 fib level, melt. And what did it do? Melt. And look at where it's at now, 0, and has created a new low, because whoever would have held the melt from when we first called it last week, it has to come to 0 to continue its downtrend. And look at what it's doing. I anticipate, this is me. Look where I got it marked. Look where I got it marked there. You see this green line right here? What's that on? -50 fib level. Why did I choose that? Why did I choose the -50 fib level as a final TP for NASDAQ? Somebody tell me. Write it in the chat, or you can unmute your mic. Whoever's been listening to me, I use the fib. Why would I have put -50 as my final TP for NAS?
It's usually the inverse of the 50. It's like the opposite.
Exactly. Thank you. Who was that said that?
You already know it's Martin in the building.
Martin, what's up, Martin? I love it. Now, Martin is absolutely correct. It's because it's the inverse. It's the inverse of what? Pay attention to the fib. Look at where price retraced to. 50 fib level. This is strategy 8 of AIRO. Even though the AIRO video, it's in the back office, it'll teach you all about Fibonacci, all right? I helped Nate with this. That's my strat. I love the fib, okay? I don't like trading without it. I don't have to trade with it because I do other things now, but this thing is powerful. It's clearly telling you where it's going. You just got to be able to get into the trade and roll with it if you can, okay? So the 50 fib levels here, you're going to go to the inverse. And if you go back, it don't matter what time frame you're on, it always goes to the inverse. Always. Now we're on a daily time frame, so it could take a couple of days for it to do that. But on NAS, it's okay because there's thousands of pips in these couple of days. NAS should probably be on the news, honestly, because of this drop. Because for where it's at right now, 15,110, to get to 14,410, that's $1,000 drop in price. That's a 10 grand drop in pips. 100,000 points. Right? I love it, you guys. I love it, love it, love it. That tells me you guys are paying attention and there's something sticking because it's useful. You want to use it to help you. Fibs will help you set TPs, also set stop losses, and give you direction on where price may go. It's not a guarantee that it's going to go there, but more times than not, it goes to the inverse. More often than not. Okay? I'm a little mad right now because I should have held all my sales today. I should have, but it's okay. Yup. Inflation's killing it. What's up, Lymel? All right, so that's NASDAQ. Okay, and now I'm gonna go over, I'm gonna get over to the CADs. We got 5 minutes left. I'm gonna get over to the CADs. But look at that. Let me check AU, because if look at that. Yeah, baby. Okay, then NZD should be, yeah, there you go. You ain't getting no H1. Get ready to look for a sell. Okay, so let me walk y'all through the NAS today, play of the day, because I got played. I really did. I was looking for the sell. So this is what I mean. I had already drew it on the daily looking for my sell. So my intention was to take my sell today and hold it. Just what you see that's happening right now, right? I got played this morning. I'm going to tell y'all, I ain't ashamed because it happens. But y'all saw my post. I made it back. Right? Okay, so play of the day, what happened with NASDAQ, and this is what I want y'all to pay attention to. Remember, we on market open, 9:30. I was close. That was 9:31. 9:30, market open. All right. This is what I do every morning when market open now. This is my market open play. All right. 9:30 market open. I do believe in myself, Rob. You know what? I got mad right here. This is what made me mad. The play right here. I was so mad. But then, so here's the thing. Market open. This is market open. When it opened, what did it come off of? Okay. I tell everybody this. When market opens, what is it coming off of? It's coming off of a bearish OB right here. See that? Two of them. Bearish OB. When market opened and it started dropping, best believe the next candle should have been a drop. Which it was, right? This candle right here, if you would have got in, boom, that whole entire candle was like 300 pips. Done. You're done. You don't need nothing else after that. All right. So, but what happened? I usually don't go right after market open. I wait and see what it does. And then look what it did. It formed this bullish OB. Normally, when a bullish OB like that forms, I would go ahead and take a buy. Normally, if I was looking for the buy. But I'm overall bearish because I was looking for a sell. New. What is an OB? Overbought. OB means order block. It means order block. And this is being recorded too. So if you got AP live, you can go ahead and watch the recording. Yeah, no problem, darling. No problem. Here's your bearish, a bullish OB right here that stopped the downward movement. That right there made me mad because I'm like, I'm like, okay, you're not ready to sell yet. You getting ready to knock people out of the sell so that way you're going to entice the buyers and then sell. I've been looking for the sell all day, right? So then the buy happened. I said, all right, we ain't ready yet. Then this happened. This bearish OB, which broke this one. I'm like, oh, bet. It's time to sell. I played myself because I was in here right here. Thought I was going to catch like 300 pips. And then what happened? This happened. I was so heated. I was so heated. And then it pulled back and did what? A W. This impulse took me out. I'm like, all right, so now I got to sit here and wait for a sell again. Because this impulse, all this did was rinse people like me out of the sell and then push more for the buy. Then this bearish OB happened. I'm like, all right, now we're going to sell. Got in for the sell, drop, right? This has got to be like 700 pips, I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah, like 700 pips. And I'm like, all right, bet. And I'm like, okay, we're going to just hold this, right? So I set my stop loss in here, right here. I set my stop loss here in profit. Why? Because then this move happened here. And I'm like, oh, okay, we're good. We're good. Man, you see what happened? Bull OB occurred. Boom, took me out. I'm mad now. I'm like, wait a minute. You playing with me right now, Nash. You supposed to be selling. All they were doing is getting rid of people like me because they weren't ready for the sell yet, and they're going to entice more buyers. They needed to get more people in to fake them out for the buy. And then they shoot up like this. This is over 1,000 pips. So I'm like, okay, fine. But I'm still going to sell. And so I had to wait. And I waited and I waited. And then this happened. And then, of course, y'all saw my screenshot. I took another sell and then it dropped and finally broke this M, and then it did what it was supposed to do. And I was in like 3 positions. Every position came off of an order block. But that's how I got played today. I was waiting for the sell, but it didn't happen when I wanted it to happen. So, and then on top of that, this was an L, and then this came, but this wasn't enough to cover the L. So I had to wait for me to get my that's why I say in my post, I had to wait to get all my pips back and then some to make my goal for the week, which I did on this move. Okay, but that's what I do every market, open market. I'm glad, Raj. I'm glad. So the play of the day, yes, the buy was the bait, sis. Yup, it was the bait. And that's what we got to do. Remember, I'm telling y'all every time, we got to look at the market and determine what's the play of the day. after going through this, because even me, I got played. But the thing was, is I knew that the sell was gonna be the play of the day. I just needed to get the right sell. I mean, 700 pips ain't nothing to sneeze at. If you were just going for 500 pips for the day, you clearly got it. I mean, so it is what it is. I knew in my heart that it was going to do this. That's why I was in there early. Okay. So play of the day was definitely the sell. Buy was the bait. But the key is you can trade both of them. Okay, because the buy wasn't no pips to sneeze at neither. This push up was nice, and then that push up was nice. So you could trade the baits, but you really want to get into the play. All right. What did I say on my TA? I said a fake out to the sell. Absolutely, you did. I call that a buy into a sell move. That's what I do. They do it every time. Every single day, they're going to either do one or two things: a buy into a sell or a sell into a buy. One of those happens every single day. You just got to be able to catch them. All right. And the sell was fire because it came off of a resistance zone too. It's fire because it came off of this resistance zone. It was built up and then boom, it dropped. And the M5 is really, really helpful for that, because here's that same thing on the M5 that you saw on the M1. But I'm in on these wicks. Remember, I always tell y'all, I love being in on the wick, because when you're in on the wick, you're in on the order block off the M1, and it builds into the order block on the M5, which then builds into the order block on the M15. It builds into the M block on the M30. You see what I'm saying? When you are in, you will know that your position is fire when you're in the order block off the M1 that causes the building in the other higher time frames, thereby strengthening your position in being the correct direction. That's why I'm so adamant about making sure, because then it don't look like you're in the wick on the M1, but when you get to the H1, you'll see that your position is off of a wick in the direction of the sell. That means you were right. Looks like this. You're in the wick and then it drops. That's when you know you're in a fire position. Okay, so that's it's 10:04. I'm about to get off, but Raj, I'm gonna come to you after this call, and I'll check on ACAT. What was it? Definitely, I keep my OBs for real. I do keep them because they come back to them every time. I try not to keep all my lines because it gets sometimes confusing, because
I was just about to say that too, because when I did my T, I was like, wow, they came back from the same order blocks.
Yes, exactly. Oh, GCAT and ACAT. I'll try and take a look, Raj. But yeah, so that's how I was trading. So that's a market open strat that I use. And like I said, the zones is powerful. So if you can catch them off of a zone of AIRO, that's when you want to be able to see it. Now I'm talking about for those of y'all that are newer to trading. Like, there's gonna be a point that you may feel like you don't need AIRO no more, and that's good. That just means you evolved in your trading. But if you knew, or you don't feel like you have as much confidence in that, utilize AIRO to help you give those confluences. To give you those confluences so that you feel more confident in your trade. And then you might not necessarily need it no more. And then what you would do is just, I don't know, like I do, is I'll just apply it to an EA and let an EA run money for me. That same thing. I'll trade manually because I feel like it. So that's kind of what I would like. I would like everybody to grow and evolve in their trading. And there's going to be a point where you don't necessarily feel like you need AIRO, and it's cool. Or you just use it for confluence, and that's cool too. But the point is that it does have its uses. So try and utilize everything that it's showing you, especially these AIRO alerts. I may not necessarily trade an AIRO alert specifically, but I'll use them to show that I got momentum in my favor. And these AIRO alerts are like 3 to 5 confirmations in one. So it helps strengthen my trade. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm gonna drop the record, since this is on Zoom and I got it right this time. I'm gonna drop the recording on, I'm gonna upload it to my YouTube, but I'm gonna make it private. So, people don't feel like I'm putting them on blast in public. I'll make it private, but then I'll drop the link because it's easier. Because every time they drop the Zoom link, they drop the Zoom video in like the bag chat, it makes it harder for me to see it. Yes, exactly. Use AIRO to get on these calls for the nuggets. Absolutely. Because like I could trade without AIRO if I feel like it. And I do a lot of times. But then like I said, there are times where I use it. So I want to be able to give that to y'all. So y'all got an Asian session strat and we got an open and market strat. And I want all y'all to go practice it. Practice makes perfect. Exactly. Thank you, Lymel. Absolutely. The community is fire. Even if you don't necessarily use the indicator, you want to be a part of the community too, because I love trading with everybody. Me and Rona, we talk all the time. I love it. Like she tests things out and we bounce ideas off each other. Lymel too. Like his technical analysis is fire. And I wouldn't even know these people had it not been for the community. And every time I talk with somebody, it helps me be a better trader. Y'all get something from me. You don't be spamming. Y'all get something from me, I get something from y'all. That's how I see it. But I try and come up with simple solutions. I love you too, Raj, though. I love it. I be cracking me up, especially when I talk to my trades, just like I talked to my trade today. Like, Nash, hurry up and get up there. We got things to do. But yeah, so anyway, y'all, I'm gonna put it on my YouTube link, and I'll drop the link in the AIRO bag chat for y'all. It's gonna go up on the AP Live until we get the whole OBS thing situated. We'll do it like that. But let's see, we got Asian session strat. That was one of the things. So we're gonna be using that from now on. Practice it, and then on Thursday, I expect everybody to be ready. 9 o'clock. If you might get into the trade before me, be ready. Open and market, practice that, especially with Nate on his calls. Make sure you attend Nate's calls for the rest of this week for New York session. Make sure you attend my guy Hans is going to be on London session tonight, I think, right? Yeah. Hans, you on the call, Hans? You should be on there tonight, right? Yeah.
It's in the works. It's in the works. We gotta fix a couple of things as far as like the back office and the VPS. But what's up, guys?
There you go.
For those who don't know me, my name is Hans Felix, and we are here to rock it out. Shout out to Jackie, shout out to Nate, and I can't wait to actually catch some fish with you guys in the London sessions.
Bet. You'll just let them know in the chat, so they got it. And y'all already know I won't be on there. I'll be asleep. So
yeah.
But just let y'all know. So yeah, Hans is a good dude, y'all. So make sure y'all follow what he say, because he be dropping some wonderful gems. I learned from him too. And what else was it?
Hans, I just want to ask a question. What is your favorite London session pair? 3.
He trying to figure out so he could tell if he could show up, huh? Actually, I don't have a favorite pair to trade in London. I trade setups. So, stick around and you'll see which ones when you start coming to my live sessions, and then you'll see what I'm a little bit more acclimated to.
All right, good answer.
Let me say, somebody said GJ. There was one question here I'm gonna answer, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. Oh, somebody asked, is NAS easier to trade in US 30? For me, yes. For Nate, no. He hates NAS. So just so y'all aware, for me, US 30 is harder right now. NAS straight up easy. I can read it like I showed y'all. We good. Nate, on the other hand, we had a long chat with Nate. Nate was like hating on NASDAQ. And he was like, I can't trade it, can't stand it, don't like the wicks, blah, blah, blah. I love the wicks.
But the NAS setup today was way better than US 30. I'm sorry.
Right.
I was calling it. I was just like, man, I'm paying attention to US 30. I forgot about NAS.
Right. Oh man. All right, y'all. So y'all already heard about the NAS, so I'm still bearish on NAS until it hits that -50. So I'm kind of looking for it. Yeah, I know he's into stocks now too. I gotta catch his sessions. What else? So bearish on NAS, that's what I'm looking for. We'll see tomorrow if it still continues to do so. I already told y'all about the AU and the GU and them setups that I was looking at. And the fact that NAS is still bearish right now is pushing my AU down. That's fire. And I think that was it. And then I'll, Raj, if I get a chance before I go to bed, I'll talk to you about the Cats. All right, y'all. I love y'all. Thank you for joining me.